Hey crew, I've got the key to this 25 BMW M5 Touring, and today we're gonna see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19.5 feet long. I've got the M5 parked at a slight angle, but really close to the edge, sitting next to a new Toyota 4Runner TRD off-road that my wife and I are reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The 4Runner is parked at an opposing angle, also very close to the edge. And with that spacing, you can easily walk between the vehicles, wheel a double stroller through or wagon for our kiddos. The door mirrors of the M5 do fold in when it's locked. It actually unlocked itself when I just walked by the car. The front end of the M5 is hovering over the gutter at the beginning of my driveway, and that does, there it goes, it's unlocking again. That does leave enough space at the back to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. Now, I mentioned the M5 will unlock itself if you approach it. It'll also lock if you walk away. But if that becomes a little annoying, as it has sometimes for me, just being around the vehicle, having an unlock and lock, then you can turn that setting off and just put your hand on the door handle to actually unlock the vehicle. Oh, before I get in though, I'll mention that there is the charge port door right here. The fuel door is on the other side. And typically I would have the M5 plugged in overnight. It doesn't really need all of overnight to replenish the battery, just 3.5 hours. But in this case, the battery was already charged. And I also will say, I've got these curb ramps set up here for the clearance issue of the gutter at the front of my driveway, but the ground clearance is such that I wouldn't scrape on these curbs. It would have to be a steeper drop off. I'm gonna wait until I'm parked next to someone in a lot to show you the real door opening space. For now, that's one defined notch. That is two, and I can slide on in easily. Close up that door. Hello cabin crew, thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 25 M5 Touring. In this video, I want to see if getting the wagon and having this new plug-in hybrid powertrain makes this new M5 much easier to live with than the old F90. So let's fire it up. And there's a big difference right off the bat. As long as you've got some charge left in the battery, and you can see we've got maybe 9/10 of available charge, then the vehicle will begin as an EV. And that means silence. In other words, no disturbing of neighbors, no V8 noise on startup. So whatever time you start your day or end it, no one will be upset. Before we get out of here, let me show you where I would put the items I bring with me every day. Like my iPhone 15 Pro, which sits on one of the 2 available wireless charging pads. Inside the console, there isn't a ton of room, so I just put my slimline wallet and my sunglasses because there isn't storage somewhere with felt lining, although the inside of this console is felt lined, so I'm not going to scratch up those lenses. Inside the door pocket, I could wedge my 32-ounce water bottle just barely, but that does fit and stays securely off to the side. I couldn't find a spot in here for my GoPro accessories, unfortunately, so those are just sitting on the floor. Hopefully, if I had a passenger, they wouldn't be disturbed. Let me throw on my belt now and pull this gear selector back into drive. That's going to automatically release the parking brake. I'm going to roll on forward, feel the right tire descend, the left one goes over the ramp, and I am easily going to clear my neighbor's basketball hoops on my way out. As I'm just starting my day, the M5 wants to make me comfortable. So whether I use remote start via key fob or app, or I just get in the vehicle and turn it on like I did, it's automatically gonna sense the outside temperature and how that matches up with the in-cabin temperature to, if needed, turn on the steering wheel heating, which is one of my favorite features, as you know, seat heating or seat ventilation with this optional executive package. Ooh. Good morning to you, M5. And those are all things you can customize, by the way. So if you don't want any of that, including the climate automatically setting, then you just go into settings and tell it, no, thank you. And now let me address the hybrid drivetrain functionality, because I started as an EV, and as I made my way out of my neighborhood, it functioned between gas and electric power as it so chose, because I was in just the standard hybrid mode. And it is going to favor using all electric. Boy, that turn signal is loud, isn't it? Turning that off. I don't mind the tone, but man, the volume intense. Anyway, so it's gonna favor the electric juice until that's all zapped. And right now, it says I've got an estimated range of 27 miles without having a full charge, but the EPA rates this vehicle at about 25 miles. So that might be optimistic, but you can tell the vehicle, no, I just wanna be an EV for as long as that'll last. Go into the electric mode, and then it will stay in electric mode unless you go above 82 miles per hour, which we're definitely not going to do around town, or if you do the full kickdown of the accelerator pedal, which again, we're not going to do around town. The other options, well, you got a lot of them. E-control, that'll actually hold on to the battery charge to use later, and that's going to be most useful on the highway. Or you can go into dynamic or dynamic plus, which will force on the V8 and recharge the battery. And I genuinely enjoy this M5 as a daily driver functioning as an EV. It just is this level of calm that the old M5 didn't have. So you're just quietly motoring along, electric motoring along, and you're slowing gracefully. There is a little regen braking, and you can adjust that in the setup screen on this energy recovery section, but it's not the full one pedal drive that you get in dedicated electric vehicles. It can be a decent bit of slowing in the max, but in the mid or min, it's not really anything you would ever notice. And I kind of feel like they're missing out there, because one pedal driving is a dimension of electric vehicles that really do make them easier to live with. Not having to go to the brake pedal all the time is very nice. But apart from that note, I really do appreciate, as a daily driver, this new all-electric side to the M5. It just is this calm when you're starting your day or winding it down that you wouldn't have in the V8 only powered F90 predecessor. And yet, I don't find myself forcing it into the electric mode very often. I just leave it in hybrid because, as I said, it does favor EV operation while there's still good charge in the battery. And when the V8 does engage, as it did so right there, the only clues are that the tach comes alive. I didn't really hear it, and there was just a small hesitation in acceleration while the V8 was triggering on. But there is one thing I have to address, and that is just how many options there are for driving this M5. I showed you the M hybrid screen and all those choices. There's also the setup screen, which I showed briefly, not just energy recovery to choose from, but all these different driving configurations. It can be very overwhelming, but thankfully, it doesn't have to be, because you have the M1 and M2 modes. These are your custom sets, and how I've configured it, and I think most people would, is I've got M1 as my daily driver, my comfort mode, and M2 is all the most aggressive settings that I'm going to use on a back road or track. There's another vehicle I really don't mind as an EV, the Ioniq 5N, the most enthusiast-oriented EV I have yet to drive. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. Now to talk about just the comfort level. Basic stuff like the seats, which are highly adjustable with good padding, nice ergonomic shape, and the way you set the seats are not just here on the side, you also have some configurations in the infotainment screen. I kind of wish all that stuff was just these physical controls here, but I suppose you're not going to adjust the bolster width very often. Width? That's a weird word to say. Width. I don't like how that sounds. Anyway, you're not going to adjust that very often, so I guess that's fine that it's hidden in a couple menus. And there is 2 positions of memory, so I can have a setting, Mobile Mama can have her own setting. That's really nice. I've got good headroom for me at 6 feet tall, and I do like all the tilt and telescope of this steering wheel, so I've got a comfortable posture to drive. But I'm just about done with driving. I want some coffee. Before I get that, I do need to show you the turning radius. I've already mentioned the turn signal's too loud. Cranking the wheel. Ooh, that is terrific. Thank you, rear wheel steering. And what about if someone is driving recklessly on the road? It's your responsibility to honk at them. What are they gonna hear? Just a standard old horn. I mean, it works. I just want more excitement. Yes! It's time for coffee. I'm popping in here at Redshift Coffee Roasters. This is a new one, and I like the name. Makes me think about Red Line. I realize it's probably in reference to your eyes being red. If you're working a late shift, you need coffee, but I am going to pretend it's an enthusiast-owned coffee shop as I back in here with my high-res camera system. Got the bird's eye view, trajectory lines. I'm gonna park next to this RS5 Sportback. You can hear those proximity sensors helping me out. So easy to park. Let's get coffee. Redshift. With coffee in hand, I did tell you I would show you the door opening space parked next to someone who's over the line a little bit. That's one defined notch. I clearly cannot go two, so can I make it into the cabin? Phone in right hand, coffee in left. No trouble at all. Yes. And then as far as cup holders, I've got two right here, and that holds the drink somewhat loosely, but it's at the right height to easily grab it again. On my way back home, as I sip my coffee, I'm enjoying the hands-free highway driving that is offered and equipped to this M5. This really cuts down on stress as I'm sitting in what could be commuter traffic, but it's a Saturday. What is going on? I don't think there's an accident. It's just always this part of the highway that gets congested. And so I turn this on and I ease on up. My only complaint with specifically the adaptive cruise control of the M5 is that you can't adjust the following distance from the steering wheel. It's all minimalist. You have to go into the infotainment, find the driver assist, and then adjust either close, middle, or far. Why the extra step? Just leave the button on the wheel, for goodness sakes. I find myself using the head-up display in the M5 a lot as well, because it's huge, it's full color, and it has all the information I would need, like whether the driving assist features are working or which ones are switching off, like I just saw up there, that I need to grab onto the wheel because Assist Plus is no longer active, and it's got the speed limit and my speed. And the reason Assist Plus switched off right there, by the way, was because we went above 45 miles per hour. It's not a full hands-free at any speed highway drive like Super Cruise in GM vehicles, and I wish it was. And I can appreciate nice wagons while driving one. Look at that turbo diesel Benz. A beauty in cream. After regrouping at home, I am now following Mobile Mama and the kiddos in the 4Runner to the mall because we need to get a new rug after our dog destroyed our current one, and a new dresser for my kiddos because the secondhand one we've been using for a few years that I painted and put new hardware on is just falling apart. But we can't visit the mall without riding the carousel, right, Tally? Yeah. And now we get down to the serious business of rug shopping. So we're indecisive, and we don't know how to decorate. We have no idea. So we've brought home some swatches. Maybe a rug will come from one of these. The girls were starting to get a little hangry and tired there at the end, so Mobile Mama is taking them home for a nap while I carry on solo to the next destination, IKEA. So many dresser options. Which to choose? Quick pause for Swedish meatballs. Well, settled on this dresser, but this being IKEA, I can't just take this home with me. I've got to take some boxes. What was your name?
Fernando.
Fernando.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
I'll comment on the video.
Appreciate it, Fernando. So Fernando over there was admiring the M5 Touring, as I think a lot of enthusiasts are. They're excited about another BMW station wagon. Now, let's put the utility of this form to the test with these boxes. What have I got myself into here? Up goes the lift back, and I'm going to have to remove the cargo cover to fold down those rear seats and get that big cavity available. Okay, cargo cover is out. Now to fold the rear seats, I just pull on these two tabs, which is more convenient than having to open up the side doors and pull on the levers. But unfortunately, the seats don't fold completely flat. I'm also taking out the charging cables, which have just been hooked onto the side to not get in the way. Look at it. Storage. Beautiful storage. It's like an artist's blank canvas. Let me start my work. Now this, I could have all in theory done with a sedan and seats folded. But this bad boy, that is where you need the wagon. Moment of truth. Yes, it fits, all of it. And so I say, in an excited way, that the BMW M5 Touring is IKEA approved. Last night, I did top up the battery of the M5 because we have a longer drive to San Diego this morning for a cousin's birthday. And that means I need to install these car seats. And here is where the wagon has a slight advantage for installation, because in the sedan, you only have a small gap to wedge your hand between the glass and the top of the trunk to access the top tether point. Here, it's all open. It was a piece of cake to install the rear-facing seat with the exposed latch points, and I didn't have to move my wife's seating position at all. Now for the forward-facing seat, I can enjoy just how wide these doors open, so I can load this one in and get it set. All right, looks like Tally's gonna have plenty of room behind my seat. Let me slide on in here. Oh, yes. legs stretched out, great back angle. The M5 Touring is definitely family approved. The gang's all here. Everyone, are we excited to go to Blakey's birthday?
Yeah.
Yes! And since we are on the highway, we should see about passing power in the M5 Touring. Does it have what it takes to get you to the lane you want to be in when you want to be there? Sport Plus for drivetrain, Sport Plus for drive logic. What do we call this, Tolly? Blast off?
Yeah.
Blast off. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, there isn't really a gap here, but I'm going to just casually make my way over now. And I do see a gap now.
Whoa.
Yes, the answer is very much yes. The M5 has got the goods.
This car is strong and it can do anything we want.
His car is strong and it can do anything we want. You do feel that way from behind the steering wheel.
You blast off.
Another blast off?
Another one. Mommy's
Okay.
gonna be sick.
All right, Mommy doesn't love the blast offs. Just one more. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Daddy likes them. Tolly likes them. Romy, do you like the blast offs?
I liked them before I had kids.
Now that we are at a comfortable cruising speed, Talia's got her sunshade up. She's probably about to take a nap. She loves sunshades. I get it. If I was in her position, I would too. Let's quiet up for a second and listen to the cabin volume. Well, acknowledging that this is a louder road surface than smooth tarmac, I'm still getting a fair amount of tire noise. I do hear the passing traffic as well. Not much in the way of wind noise though. It seems adequately well insulated, but it's $120,000. And we're close together, but if I was to quiet up my tone of voice, Christina, could you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, she can. And Talia's about to fall asleep, so I can't ask her, but I presume if I just raise my voice a little bit, then she'd be able to hear what I'm saying. So it's not bad. Could be a little bit quieter inside. Now, before the kids nod off, I do want to listen to this Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which you might do on a road trip or on your commutes. I'm going to cue that up on the wireless Apple CarPlay system. Super quick responding, very solid graphics. Got Spotify, and get that going. Volume dial is down here. Glad there's something physical to control. That's about
Like an
50%.
opening of a soda can.
I know. It's probably where they took that sound from. All right, we're now at like 65%. Okay, what do we think? Apart from it being very repetitive.
A lot of clarity. I liked that.
Yes.
Yes, crisp.
I
Clear.
did feel like, yeah, when you heard that soda can opening, I felt like you got all of that experience
Maybe that's why I
acoustically.
said crisp.
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 Yes, it was crisp. I agree with that. I feel like the system is not very bass heavy. I've played with the range on that one, going more, cranking it up or putting it in the middle, which it is right now, and it doesn't ever really approach getting a thumping bass. That's okay though. The fidelity, to her point, is excellent. The birthday party was a hit. We had a great time, everyone,
Yes.
including me. Yeah, I got face painting.
Yeah, you took a kid's turn.
I didn't take
Miles
a kid's
actually
turn.
hip checked a kid to get to the front of the line.
Huh.
Just
Oh no, they weren't waiting. To be fair, the lady was trying to leave. The one who did the face painting and the balloon animals, was super talented. She could do
Yes.
both very well. And I was like, could you just sneak in one more? I haven't had my face painted as an adult. And she does Pokeballs. I was like, let's do it.
Did it live up to your expectations?
I don't think I had expectations.
Okay.
So, and most importantly, the kids had fun. There was a giant bounce house, one I've never seen one that big. It had like multiple levels and a slide on the side and kickers in the middle. Mobile Mama made herself a hat. What's
I
it
think
say?
it's a kid's hat, so it's a little small, but
Yeah.
it says girl power.
It says girl power.
Because you live in a house of girls.
That sometimes I feel like they've got power over me. Nice.
I've got the power. I
325.
was trying to.
E46 Gen.
He was just going
likes
too
the M5
fast
Touring.
though, so
He was flying a second ago.
not happy with that.
You knew who. You knew who. Anyway, you know who also has something that is displeasing to them?
Who?
Mobile Mama.
What?
What
Why
do
do
you
I
not
have
love?
to be the negative one?
Well, I mean, I agree with you about this one. What do you not love about the M5 Touring as we've experienced it off the highway?
The ride quality feels choppy.
It is firm. Yes.
Yeah, it's firm and choppy.
Yes. It's like, what did you say? Getting on a jet ski?
Yeah, you're
You
hitting
are.
some wake.
Yeah.
You're looking for the waves.
You're smacked around
But
a
I
bit.
don't want to be looking for the waves for $120,000.
No. But that's not the only thing that's intense with this car. Should we do a real world 0 to 60 test, fam?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I've got my race box set up to record. Is the cabin prepared for launch?
Yes.
Tray tables up,
Buckled?
buckled, bag stowed underneath the seat in front.
Yes.
Okay. I've got all the calibrations for launch control, holding the boost.
Oh boy.
Launch control is active, letting go.
Your head back.
Whoa! And there is 60 in 3.42 seconds.
Whoa.
Practical, powerful, Pokeball. We've got one last adventure planned for this M5 Touring. We're going to Disneyland.
Oh.
Oh man, I expected more out of you guys. Let's try that one more time. We're going to Disneyland.
Why though?
Why?
Because it's Romy's birthday today.
It's Romy's birthday. And we are gonna celebrate, and it is a full car. We've got Papa here.
Hello, everyone.
He is Christina's dad, and he usually is videographer for Christina. But
Yes.
today, he's just
Off
Papa.
duty.
He's off-duty Papa. And because it is a full car, Mobile Mama is squeezed between two car seats back there. What's that like for you?
You said it, Bob. I'm squeezed.
Is the seat at
It's
least...
not very comfortable at all.
Yeah, okay. All right.
The seat's firm. I have no leg room. So I'm shifted over to the right.
Yes.
But I do have vents, which is nice, hitting my legs, probably blocking air for them. Sorry, girls. 2 USB-Cs, 2 more on the backs of the seats, 4-zone climate control, and there are heated seats on the outboard seats.
So not for you.
No, of course not.
We made it to the first line of the day. Well, actually the second. Parking was the first line. The line to get on the tram to then get to the park, that's line number 2. We finally made it. Woohoo! Giddy up. What a good goofy day. Thanks, Goofy. It is finally time to refuel this 15.9 gallon tank, and the EPA rates the M5 Touring at just 14 combined MPGe, but if you factor in the electric powertrain, as you should, you would get a 54 MPGe equivalent rating, and that gives you a fuel range of between 222 miles all the way up to 859 miles. During my time with the car, in the 252 miles I applied, we saw 20.5 miles per gallon. I think that's pretty great. And at current fuel prices of $5.03 for 91 octane gas that the M5 does require, it's gonna cost me about 80 bucks to fill this tank, and there isn't capless fueling, so I have to work just a little bit harder. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered if this new M5 Touring with its practical shape and plug-in powertrain was nicer to live with than the old F90 sedan. And after quality time spent behind the wheel, I can say with certainty that if you're going to daily drive your M5, you want the wagon. Starting with the plug, a modest but useful all-electric range allows you to start and end your day silently, enjoy instant torque, and save a fair bit of money on gas. Then there's the long roof. You can forget about getting a family SUV. This thing will haul just about as much with a lower ride height that toddlers will love and a more enviable design. I have just one qualm with this new M5. The ride quality. There is some pretty intense rebound, and you may not mind it as a driver, but your family could quickly grow to dislike it if you're gonna daily drive this thing. But boy, am I glad this wagon is here in the States, and if you are a family man or woman with deep pockets, you should take a long look at this thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.